We're finally here, friends. Championship day. We are winding down an entire NTT IndyCar Series championship today in Monterey. 9/11, starting off with remembering. Always strange to race on 9/11, at least for me. Just never quite feels right, but I understand this is something that happens. So we're here, we're celebrating first responders, EMTs, firemen, firewomen, all the folks who take care of us. That's actually a big part of what Laguna Seca, WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, has arranged for this event. So heavy hearts today, but also some excitement in terms of saying farewell to our season. Will Power, pole position. What does that mean? Well, it means he got an extra point. Extended his lead by 21 points now over Scott Dixon and Joseph Newgarden, who are tied for second. Looked at the points implication, no huge change. Would just say that we already know that if Power wins the race, obviously he wins the championship. If he finishes anywhere on the podium, anywhere in the top three, there's nothing that anybody else can do to overcome. Did see that with that extra point, he could finish fourth and have Joseph or Dixon win and still come out with the championship in hand, assuming Joseph and Dixon don't get a whole ton of bonus points. By the way, I'm holding in my right hand super unicorn stuff. Husky chocolate. It actually exists. I can't believe, so I had one yesterday. It's actually not bad. Anyways, someone from Ganassi handed this to me on the way to grid, so I should put that in my pocket. Championship stuff, again, Power on pole. We would look at Callum Ilott in P2. I don't think Power is going to give up the lead going into turn 2 on the first lap very easily. But I can tell you that if Ilott is charging hard and menacing him, it would be silly for Will to fight him and risk anything. So that's what I'm watching for. What is Ilott going to do entering turn 2, lap 1? How will that shape or influence what Power does? Again, Power doesn't need to win, just needs to finish in a decent position. Most of his title rivals have a lot of work to do to get up there and give him a hard time. 3-stop is what we're looking for today. Spoke to some teams, though. They think a 4-stopper could be something that happens, in particular for the Dixons, the Newgardens, etc., who are way farther back than they want. Probably the biggest thing to keep in mind, with all the offs that we've had so far, from Friday, Saturday, you name it, it is just folks going off track constantly. I don't know if we're going to see big crashes, driver-to-driver big crashes, but cars going off. There's a concern that we could have a lot of cautions with folks running off, getting beached, solo incidents. That is where I think we can definitely shape the race strategy side. Give you a little note about the crowd. Still early here. It's about 8:30 Sunday morning. Telling you, I'm never easy on my home track because I don't think they always do a great job of promoting. I can tell you on Friday, there were more fans here than I saw last year on Friday for sure. Yesterday, same thing. Truly encouraged. Wasn't insane, but we had more folks, I think, in the grandstands on a Saturday than we did last year for the race. So paddock is looking good. I'm told by the track that the pre-sales for tickets are way up over last year. Not quite at 2019 level. That was the return here with really big numbers, but definitely up. Feeling some positive vibe here, so that's a good thing. This morning, came in and a friend, won't mention who, but bit of a issue here. Someone who left, unfortunately, in an ambulance. Hoping and believing he will be fine, but yeah, one member of the Ganassi team is not here right now, so I am praying, and I'm sure many others are praying that everything works out well for him. Can tell you, I have seen photo evidence. Let's get into kind of winding down the championship, some of the interesting things in the paddock here. I have seen photographic evidence that Zach Brown, McLaren Racing CEO, and Mike Hull, managing director of Chip Ganassi Racing, met in private yesterday. Saw photos of them both leaving the same motorhome. Neither team would speak about it. Neither team would say anything on the record about it. But knowing that mediation has been going on, did think it was somewhat interesting that two folks in charge of two very powerful teams who are also engaged in a lawsuit are taking time to meet here directly at the track. Could there be some news coming? I don't know. Again, I've asked, been told absolutely nothing, tried to shoo me away. That's fine. It's kind of normal. But did mention in the silly season piece that we posted here towards the end of the week on RACER.com, hey, Felix Rosenqvist, his option that McLaren holds at him expires the end of September 30th. Would it be the smartest play for McLaren to back away from Palou, keep Rosenqvist, and maybe look to re-sign Palou sometime in the future? Feels like that would not be the most surprising outcome here in the coming days or weeks. We'll have to see what happens. I can tell you, I continue to hear more and more that if possible, there'd be a desire for Palou to stay in the 10 car. I don't think they're going to have any problem. There's a kid named Linus Lundqvist standing just off camera, by the way, our new Indy Lights champion. Could be phenomenal in that 10 car. There's a lot of talent out there who'd love to drive that. Do I think they would find anybody who would be immediately as effective as Palou? I don't think so. That's why I think if things were to work out well, would having Palou back in the 10 car be something Ganassi pushed for? Very possibly. I have heard, unconfirmed, but heard Palou's on a plane back to Spain right after the race here. Whether it's Sunday night, Monday morning, I can't tell you, but would he come back to drive that car? It's another question I've raised in silly season content. There's a lot of stuff moving around here. Let's close on some of the finales. Alexander Rossi, final race for Andretti Autosport, moving over to Arrow McLaren SP. Kyle Kirkwood, his last for AJ Foyt Racing. Just waiting for them to confirm Benjamin Peterson, young and talented now race-winning Indy Lights driver. We'll have Benjamin slotting into that 14 car next year. Joseph Newgarden's championship-winning, amazing crew chief, Travis Law, his last race going over the wall for Joseph. He'll be moving into a leadership position for Penske on the sports car side, which is fantastic. Jimmy Johnson, a question as well. Don't know what his season might look like next year. Is it ovals? Is it nothing? Is it everything? We don't know, truly. There's no real answer there yet. Have heard some encouraging things there. Not quite ready to mention them yet, but have heard some positive possibilities sit there for him. I already mentioned Palou. If McLaren decides, hey, we're just going to go with Rosenqvist, we don't need all this nonsense, does he stay in the 10 car? Does he not? We don't know. This could be his last race for Ganassi. Takuma Sato as well. Hoping to find out here soon what he might be doing. Is he coming back full time? Is he not? What is he doing? We'll find out here soon. A lot of stuff going on here in Monterey. Final race of the season. Can't wait to get it done. Speak to you here in a couple hours when we know who gets crowned.